Hello. How are we all? Heartburn? Ooh, that's rough. Eat bananas. Eat lots of bananas. You will thank me. Okay? Eat like 2 bananas. Shrek the Third, thank you for the incredibly generous 50 gifted memberships. Thanks so much. Has anyone seen the pictures of the Palisade fires? Completely out of control wildfires. That's in Los Angeles. Like, look at that. Look at that. Bad time to have asthma. It's apparently already killed 2. Just like look at that. Just imagine your entire life, like even if you escape, just your entire life, everywhere you know, just gone. Like that. Span of days. But, you want to know the darkest part about this? Your prison industrial complex is fighting the fires. $1 a day sent into hell. This is from 2023. Incarcerated people comprise 30% of all wildland firefighting crews in California. The firefighters' job is to clear areas surrounding a wildfire using chainsaws and hand tools, such as axes and rakes, to starve the fire of fuel. The work is as dangerous as it sounds. Compared to other firefighters, incarcerated people fighting wildfires are 4 times more likely to sustain physical injuries, cuts, bruises, dislocations, and fractures, and 8 times more likely to suffer from the effects of smoke inhalation. And for endangering themselves, they make almost as little as Xanderhal. We're in hell. Neverflip, thanks for the 10 CHF. Thanks again for helping with the cardigan earlier. You're very welcome. Theory, thanks so much. Let me work out what that actually is. Sweet. That is 11 for theory. Thanks so much. And Evil Morty, thanks for the $5. Shout out to the West Coast on fire with the revival of hip-hop and fire. Yeah, God. No, Xanderhal said $5 a month? Damn, they're out-earning Xanderhal by quite a bit then. They're making like 30 times his rate. The short version of, I mean, clearly the solution is Xanderhal needs to go to prison. It's that simple. It's like in Dickens. He just needs to go to the prisons. Are there not prisons? Are there not prisons, Xanderhall? Next time Xanderhall complains about money, $5 a month. Next time Xanderhall complains about money, you ask him, are there not prisons? And the workhouses, are those still in effect? For what? Well, I mean, that's for Xanderhall to find out. It was actually, it's really interesting. There's a channel I watch, and I've read about this elsewhere too, but there's a channel that he put it really well. There's a channel I watch, occasionally that's, it's like, is it Cooking with History or something? And he has an episode on gruel. And one of the things that happened in the workhouse, one of the things that was debated about with the workhouses is that when you went to a workhouse, they fed you very poorly. When you went to prison, they fed you less poorly. And so the debate was, are we not encouraging people to go to prison by feeding them better in prison than in the workhouses? Now, you might think that, well, we should improve the quality of the food. No, of course not. We should make the food in prison worse to discourage people from wanting to go to prison. Life was so bad that they were arguing about how to make prison worse than normal life. My man just needs to go flip burgers. Yeah, watch the menu. He'll be happy. It'll be good for him. No, but in all seriousness, I think Xanderhall just needs to get a job. He just needs to go out there, get a job, and just stop doing this. Or do this more casually. Because it's not going to be cute for very long. He's getting older. You can't be that forever. It's a bad place to be. It's a very bad place to be. Right. So, we are on part 8. Part 8 of our coverage of Whatifalthists. Rudyard Lynch's descent into utter insanity. Utter and complete insanity. Will this be the last part? That is the question. That is the question. Will this be the last video stream that we do on this? I kind of hope so. Is this a grand finale? It depends. It depends on a couple of things. If we get a theory segment paid for, if the theory meter fills up, remember, if you want to do a theory segment, put the word theory into your super chats. When you hit $100, we skip to a theory segment. Or, as what happened last night, somebody paid money for us to cover a different drama segment. So, you donate $100, you can pick the next segment carte blanche. That's what that person did. If you want the drama to continue, you can put the word drama into your super chat. And if we hit $100 for drama, the theory value goes down by 50%. And that is indeed how it happens. But he survived losing all of his money on PayPal, so maybe he'll be fine. Yeah, Xanderhall's got a weird financial history, a remarkable financial history, in which he lost all of his money because he didn't use banks. He stored all of his money on PayPal, which is just crazy to me. Just nutso. I don't get it. I don't get it. All right. But dear friends, if you were concerned about a lack of philosophical depth in the last Rudyard videos, if you were concerned we were straying too far away from spirit science, I got some good news for you. Because this next section is on the physics of life and death. Is this when Rudyard gets into Bataille? Can you imagine a fanged Numina, fanged Numina, written by Rudyard? Oh boy. Oh golly gee willikers. We're going to do some Rudyard math. But before we do, I'm going to grab some coffee. So hang tight, I'll be back in 2 minutes. And in the meantime, my gift to you, friendos. Oh, you thought it was over. You thought it was over, didn't you? Alas.
Naughty. Surprise. But sex.
All right. Sunday, have you seen any of the T.J. Kirk Amazing Atheist drama involving him saying weird pedo-ish things in the past? No. Is that worth looking at? How far in the past are we talking, and what kind of things are we talking? We talking Mr. Girl scale? We talking Onision scale? What are we talking? Oh my god, that's a good stretch. Okay. Oh. Here we go. The physics of life and death.
On Christmas Eve.
On Christmas Eve!
And this is my Christmas present to you.
Oh.
And I really want to get this out in Christmas. So I just gave up on writing the script. This video was way longer than I expected. I hope you can understand why. And so
this is how Rudyard spent his Christmas.
I am just going to read off the texts I have with Merrick and just change it up a little bit so it's not boring.
The metaphysics of life and death, or the physics, rather, of life and death. I'm just going to read off the text with Merrick, okay?
But, so the way I commune with the divine is I take CBD, and then I text Merrick, and I go...
That's what I'm missing. I need to text Merrick. If I text Merrick, I too can ascend to godhood. This is what we need to do. We need to collaborate with Merrick. We need to find a way. We need to find a way to collaborate with Merrick, and then when we do, I will be a god.
Go through my texts with Merrick to figure out when I'm in a trance, and I'm kind of in a trance now. So,
you had me fooled. You seem completely lucid, Rudyard.
You're getting this from the source.
That's where Neo went in the last Matrix movie.
Man, I hate ironing my shirt. It's just unpleasant and not nice. I really like this jacket. I showed you.
Ironing your shirt's unpleasant. It makes your shirt nice and warm and smooth and whatnot. You're probably not washing your shirt. You need to wash and iron your shirt, sir.
This jacket before. I think it's nice. I think there's a certain like ruffled white shirt look that's really good. And
that friendo, it's not it.
I really like Italian shirts. I think they're Italian white shirts. They're very good, but it's hard for me to get them. And with all of this, the thing I am about to tell you is the most important thing I have discovered. And if you don't watch any part of this video, watch this part. I purposely structured it so you'll have to watch the whole thing together for it all to make sense. But this is the thing I am most proud of.
Maybe you should have included that note early on.
Of my innovation to philosophy.
You need to start at the beginning. You need to say, look, the most important part of this video I have buried in a unspecified part of this 10-hour screed, okay? So you need to watch the whole thing and watch carefully. You must listen well in order to receive this gospel.
And this is something I really believe we've sorely needed, where everything around us is dead matter.
I love that leather sound, just like... Everything around us is dead matter. Sorry, my apologies.
Needed, where everything around us is dead matter. What that means is that we do not treat others as if they are living. where when you treat someone as living, you have empathy with them. And when you have empathy with them, you can relate to their life force as a living thing. It's really cruel to treat other people in your life as dead matter. I've been treated as dead matter for my whole life. So have the rest of you, because people are not, when they interact with you, do not perceive you as an actual person they know and feel connection to. They perceive you as someone to exploit to get something out of you. And this is why life is so bad, because in all of your social interactions, people do not treat you like a person, and you feel incredibly lonely, and you feel incredibly sad, you feel incredibly lost, and the government's been able to use this to manipulate you. But I'm here to tell you everything's going to be fine. We're going to start being nice to each
Well, if everything's going to be fine, then why are you bothering to tell us everything's going to be fine?
other again. Where my project here is I want people to have healthy, organic social interactions based around shared moral values, based around actually good things. And as an introvert, I feel safe doing this because I'm not going to force any bullshit on you. If an extrovert did this project, man, they'd be trying so hard. And
But the introvert INTJ, power falls into his hand like a ripe fruit from a tree.
the way to navigate psychic space is when you get stuck in a psychic situation, let's say you're in a spirit world, the demon's attacking you, don't take yourself seriously.
I hate it when that happens and the demons attack me in cyberspace.
Once you no longer take yourself seriously, you can pull back and leave the situation, because the way the spirit world works is that you dream it. And so if you have faith in your own dream,
Oh my God.
if you have faith in your own dream, that can overpower
Lynchborn.
someone else's dream. That's how I survived the spirit world, because I had complete
Merrick, grant us eyes.
faith in my own survival and my own existence due to stuff that happened with me and my mom as a kid. And so if you want to shrink in the spirit world, take yourself less seriously. If you want to grow, it's through the process of effortlessness.
It's through the process of effortlessness.
Can't force
Effortlessness harder.
something. There is a time for everything. I like to say, follow the Dow to wealth and wisdom. By that I mean the Dow Jones, or the top performing stocks in America, and the Tao, or the Chinese philosophy of Taoism. There's
Those aren't the same thing.
multiple mystic traditions around the world, all with very deep roots that all share very similar ideas.
Those aren't the same thing though. Those aren't the same thing, Rudy. Those aren't the same thing at all.
Read Houston Smith's book Forgotten Truth, which is the best book on this topic, or the underlying philosophic concepts all world religions share. But I keep on getting side-railed because there's so much interesting stuff to talk about, where
Dowdy Ching, Dow Jones. Oh, it's a guy's name, Rudyard.
Taoism is the Eastern Oriental tradition. It's the Eastern mystic tradition. Hinduism, which I got to make a video about all these. This is so much cool stuff. Hinduism is the Indic mystic tradition. And then you have a sub-variety of different Western mystic traditions between the Hermetic tradition, the Kabbalah, which stems from Babylon. The two great centers of Western mysticism were Mesopotamia and Egypt, or the two early
Kabbalah doesn't come from Babylon. Kabbalah comes from Palestine. Hang on, wait. Am I going crazy here? Babylon would be in, like, Iraq, wouldn't it? Yeah, it's in Iraq.
earliest civilizations, and then Rudyard is tapping into a Northwest European mysticism developed by a figure named Odin who lived in the Bronze Age. He'll talk more about that later. So, what was I talking about? Yeah, I was explaining how the way to grow in the spirit world is through effortlessness. When you look back upon your life, the times you were successful were times you didn't worry and you just followed the flow and you did what you like. And you have to be responsible and you have to assess whether or not you made mistakes, and then from that figure out what you want to do.
You have to put effort into your effortlessness.
But the way that the spirit world operates is that in your relation to the spirit world, because all the realm of ideas in that philosophy, intellectual concepts, science, religion, these are all part of the realm of ideas or the Platonic forms. And so that's the spirit world. And
I'm sorry, sir. Our ice cream machine is not working.
so when you relate to that, because in many different things have spiritual elements. One nation conquering another one does. Sexual love does. The conquest of new technologies is a spiritual thing, because you get new technologies when you've attained a certain level of technological progress.
He refers to sex as annexation, doesn't he? Andre Even, thanks for the 50 euros theory. Damn. That didn't last long, did it? Shoot. God damn. You know what that means? We will return to finish this in a moment, because first... Oh no. Destiny's philosophy notes. God damn it. Whatever, it's okay. We'll make good theory out of this bad theory, okay? That's how we do. We're gonna make life take the lemons back. Make life rue the day it gave us lemons. All right. Oh my god. I can't. I can't. Okay. Here we go. This is Destiny's philosophy notes. Because there is no God. There we go. Okay. Alright. Just drink it. Why is this above me? That's weird. It should be there. There we go. But it shouldn't be there. Hang on. Wait, something's not working. Something's not making sense. How does that work? Whatever, this'll do for now. Okay. This is Destiny does philosophy and proves that he too can pass high school. Oh god, we've got so much here. You know what? Let's sort it back to where it was before, because I don't really like this, and I'll cut it down. Is what I'll do. That's what I'll do. Put it back up here. Then we'll just ooh boy. There we go. But there's so much more. So like, look at this. Humans are not truth-seeking machines. Okay, that's true. I agree with that. We've got aesthetic versus function. Aesthetic versus function, cognitive dissonance, constellation of beliefs, healthy epistemic practice. Destiny on healthy epistemic practice. Normative confusion with applied positions. Skeptics rarely are. Rarely, what are they rarely? Rarely are what? Social incentives dictate beliefs. I mean, do they? That's clearly not true. Social incentives have to punish beliefs very frequently. There wouldn't be punishments for wrong religion, as an example, if social incentives dictated beliefs. What a stupid thing to think. For someone who argues with right-wingers, this is very strange. This is very strange indeed. Their commonest complaint is that they're persecuted in public. Rhetorical strategies. Theory of mind! Oh my god, he's got a theory of mind. Oh, this is so good. Oh, we're gonna have fun. Let's take a look at this one to start with, though. Humans are not truth-seeking machines. What is it? What do you mean, what is it? You just said humans, plural, truth-seeking machines, plural. What is it? What is it? Oh no, I understand now. Of course, he's rewriting Anti-Oedipus, okay? What a mistake it was to ever say the it. That's what it is. But it's in the plural, because humans, plural, right? So what a mistake it is to ever say the them. Freud's "thed." Humans treat truth as instrumental, meaning truth is simply and only a tool to be utilized to further someone's personal happiness. Okay, first of all, humans treat truth as what does that mean? What does it mean to treat truth as instrumental? So they've attained truth and then they treat it as instrumental? Truth is a tool? How have they determined its truth? That doesn't make any sense. See, here would be a philosophically not stupid way to put this, okay? Human cognition is not oriented towards discerning truth. This is a point that's brought up in Spinoza, in Bergson, in Kant. It's all sorts of places, okay? Human cognition is not geared towards discerning truth. It's geared towards practical involvement in the world, okay? In fact, untruth, as Nietzsche says, may be a condition of life. It may be that you need to see things as they aren't really, assuming hypothetically that was even philosophically possible to see things as they are really, in order to live, right? You may need to intuitively see objects as disconnected from all of the flows and forces that give rise to them, and of which they are a part, in order to manipulate them as an animal and to have longevity as a thing, right? That would be an argument. But that's not to treat truth as instrumental. That means cognition is instrumentally oriented, so to speak. Or like as someone like Gibson might put it, you don't see things in themselves, you see affordances. You see stuff that you can do things with. Right? What you see, this is more Bergson language, what you see is determined by possible action. You see possible actions. And you don't see things that aren't possible actions. As an example, Bergson, I've talked about this before, Bergson has a really interesting way of breaking down the old chestnut of how does something come out of nothing? And he argues that it doesn't, because there is no nothing. Because we have a conceptual, we have an intuition that the absence of perceivable useful things, we don't think about it this way, but we have an intuition that, let me restart. We have an intuition that nothing, quote unquote nothing, is more primary than something. And so when we imagine the universe coming into being, I mean, first of all, that presumes that to begin with, but we imagine the universe come into being, and we imagine just an empty space, just an endless manifold of nothing, supposedly. You see the problem, like, already as we phrase it that way. There's not nothing. There's a state of affairs that can be described. But we start off with nothing, quote unquote, and then something else is overlaid on top of it. Something comes in to interrupt the nothingness. Bergson argues that that's a mistake, to assume that nothing is simpler than something. In relatable terms, he puts it this way. When you imagine nothing, you don't really imagine nothing because you can't. What you actually imagine are things, even in the most abstract sense, and then you subtract them. You imagine the absence of things. So conceptually, there's two parts there. There's the thing and its absence. When you imagine something, you imagine the thing simply. And so he argues stuff, the existence, like something, like matter, whatever, material, substance, whatever you like, there being something, is actually conceptually less complicated than nothing. That's not very compelling from a philosophical point of view, because it may be the case that we are simply cognitively not able to deal with that, but this is his thesis. There is no such thing as disorder, or a lack of order, or a lack of existence, or a lack of substance, or whatever. What there is order that we are interested in, and order that we're not. We see an empty room, and it's empty, because it has nothing in it that interests us, but it's full of air. It has structure, it has layers, it has like all sorts of stuff in it. Particles, tiny little bugs and germs that you can't see, etc., etc. Is this in Time and Free Will or some later work? This is from Henri Bergson's Creative Evolution, but I highly recommend going through all three. And they are, all of them, brilliant, and they get more and more brilliant as they go. Bergson is wonderful. And there's you might have noticed a lot of new Bergson content coming out. People are starting to really get into Bergson lately. You can thank Deleuze for that. Bergson was basically forgotten after the Second World War, and Deleuze brought him back in his book Bergsonism, Difference and Repetition, the cinema books, etc., etc. You haven't got into later works yet? Yeah, I have. I've read all three. I'm currently reading The Two Sources of Morality and Religion. Actually, it's on my desk. I'm reading it alongside Anti-Oedipus. Finally. But that would be an approach that would make sense. But that's not treating truth as instrumental. That's saying that what we intuit as being there is governed by instrumental use to an organism, right? Not even conceived that way, just instrumental use to an organism. So when he says that humans treat truth as instrumental, he's talking about an attitude of an animal to truth itself. Which is wrong, because animals don't engage truth. Truth is an abstraction. Truth is an idea. Truth is an idea of a kind of verified fact of the matter, of some kind of like bedrock underlying reality. Organisms don't deal with that. Organisms deal with the environment in which they have to navigate in order to live. They don't have to know what water is. They have to know that water is drinkable. They have to know that water is something liquid that they can swim through, that isn't solid that they can walk on, and so on and so forth. They have to know that empty space doesn't contain food, or doesn't contain a floor to stand on, or may precipitate a drop. And that a dense surface is something that they can't run through to escape, so on and so forth. Now, you were wrong, Sunday. All humans are pragmatists, James. Well, I mean, this is the butchery of James too, by the way. But no, humans do not treat truth as instrumental. What an incredibly dilettantish and sophomore thing to say. And yet this is how we start. Let's press on. Humans treat truth as instrumental. This is most obviously seen in the dichotomy of science versus technology, where science, quote unquote, is an exploration of the universe, and technology, quote unquote, is the application of that exploration in order to create some useful tool for us to enrich our lives. All right. Philosophy, in Wilfrid Sellers' view, is partially an activity of finding one's way around concepts, so on and so forth, okay? Something like that. Is it philosophy or is it philosophical proficiency? Something like that. I don't know. Point is, though, this is really dumb. The idea of a universe, the idea of there being a universe, of there being some kind of holistic system of systems that contains and is contained by somehow all of the rules and the stuff that form our world, that make the parameters under which different manipulations of matter can work, for example, is discovered downstream of science. It is not presumed before science. You are not studying the universe, quote unquote, in order to make technology. Technology is found through in creative engagement with stuff and learning how things work. Technology itself is pre-science. You can, and very simply, you can figure out this way. In order to have science, in order to have a collective endeavor of gaining knowledge about whatever, of seeing how things work, of seeing where things are, categorizing things, whatever you like, okay? You need language. You need language, a shared lexicon of terms that you can communicate with each other. And language, dear children, is a technology. You need writing. You need the ability to keep records. That's a technology. You need tools to see. That's a technology. Technology precedes science. Science is not the exploration of the universe. The idea of a universe is attained through technological engagement with the world and through thought and so on and so forth. But continuing. This is why people highly prefer some forms of science, like medical research, which leads to applications like medicine. Really? Does medical research lead to applications like medicine? And shun other forms of science, like space exploration, where the technological applications can be harder to identify. Well, not really. They can test things under conditions of zero gravity in space. Or of extreme low gravity in space. When the tool is no longer serving that purpose, it will be abandoned in favor of another tool. This is Destiny's theory of scientific revolutions. Okay? We carried Newtonian physics to its endpoint. We just couldn't do anything more with it. And so he went, well, time to squeeze out an Einstein. Or something. Indeed, that's how it happened. Okay? It's like in Jurassic Park. When there's a dearth of female toads, when there's a dearth of male toads in an environment, or frogs, or whatever it is, I can't remember. Is it the toads or the frogs that are turning gay? One of them will spontaneously gain male sex organs that they can inseminate the other members of their species, sort of like Rudyard's father inseminated him with mercury poisoning, right? And so, boom, life finds a way. Is that what I think? Oh, I love you. Thank you. Oh, thank God. Nectar of the gods. This is an ASMR channel now, my apologies. In certain domains, especially relating to science, engineering and medicine, the truth claims almost always need to adhere closely to reality in order to yield any tangible benefit. Profound. It's not very beneficial for one to believe drinking mercury. How timely, will cure their disease. Nor pouring gasoline onto a candle will extinguish the flame. So these beliefs are quickly and immediately dispelled in favor of something that more accurately approaches what is actually true. The best part about this is the manner in which this is written tells you exactly how Destiny imagined himself. Okay? When he's writing this. Okay? Like, hang on, where is it? What's that one from that Descartes thing? Oh, yes, here it is. Okay, this is Destiny right now, guys. Okay, this is him. It's Stephen Bennell right now. In fact, you know what? I'm gonna fix it a little bit. Okay, we're gonna fix this up. Give me one moment. This will be worth it, gentlemen. Okay, this is, and ladies, we have some of those from time to time. This is gonna be this is very, very worth it. Just trust me. Have faith. Okay. Yes. Yes, and then, of course, yes. 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 All right. Go back here for a second while I work this out. This is trust me, everyone. I'm doing this for you. Yes. Yes. Okay. All right. One moment. One moment, please. Trust me, this is all worth it. This will all be so worth it. Okay, I'm doing art right now. Art is a kind of philosophy. Yes. Bellissimo. Perfection. Finally. There we go. That's it. I present to you one of the great masterworks of our generation. They will be studying this at the Louvre. Ah! Yes. Just to, this is Destiny while he was making this. All right, enough of that. Back to work. Examples. The internet. The internet, this is truly the best example of humans seeking pleasure over truth. Decades ago, impossible, no one was alive then. People joked that with the advent of the internet, almost everyone on the planet would become immediately informed of events and reach very high levels of general awareness and intelligence regarding current events, among other things. We can see today that nothing can be further from the truth. People navigate the internet in a way that appeals to what makes them feel good and resist searching through areas that produce cognitive dissonance. Footnote. Cognitive dissonance. He has an interactive... What the Oh my god. Look at this thing in the side here. Hang on. Look at this. Look where my mouse is. Like right here. Look at this thing. He's got a freaking... the Destiny intellectual galaxy. That's what this is. He has a theory. I can't get over that he has a theory of mind. Oh my god. Watching people research. If you have the opportunity to watch someone research for a topic, it can be incredibly eye-opening to see how they search for information and evaluate sources. Indeed, Stephen, how true. People will become incredibly skeptical of sources they don't trust. No, they are skeptical of sources they don't trust. That's what that means, Stephen. But all of the skepticism will disappear immediately if it's a source that is providing them with some type of cognitive consonance. Wait. No. He doesn't know what cognitive dissonance means. He doesn't know what he thinks cognitive dissonance means you believe something that makes you feel bad. People seek pleasure over truth, so they will run away from cognitive dissonance, and they will look for cognitive. He thinks cognitive dissonance and he thinks cognitive dissonance is pain, mental pain. I'm experiencing mental pain. I'm experiencing, in a Stevensonian sense, cognitive dissonance right now. In a Borrellian sense. Limitations. There is nothing wrong with seeking pleasure. Arguably, normativity precedes all epistemic or metaphysical investigation anyway, meaning we have to make some value statement. Wait. Normativity precedes all epistemic or metaphysical investigation anyway? Normativity meaning what? Hang on. Nothing wrong with seeking pleasure. Normativity precedes all epistemic or metaphysical investigation anyway. These aren't related sentences. They don't relate to each other. Arguably, normativity precedes all epistemic or metaphysical investigation anyway, meaning we have to make some value statement about truth or the physical world before we can even decide to explore it. But here's the problem, though, Stephen. Wait. There's many problems, but science is an exploration of the universe. Technology is the application of that exploration. However, we need to make a value statement about truth and the physical world before we can explore it. We need a consensus. How do you do that without technology? If technology is the how? It's destiny, so I'm very hesitant to use the analogy of an Ouroboros for obvious reasons, but I'd say he's eating his own tail, but he's probably into that. The problem, however, is when someone confuses their pleasure-seeking for truth-seeking. Actually a cogent point. He doesn't understand it. He wouldn't understand why, but actually a cogent point. If you are mistaking what seems intuitively true based upon your organic bodily organs that have evolved in interaction with a specific environment, there is not a reason to assume that you are getting truth instead of, for example, something that agrees in some way with your body, essentially. I mean, yeah, Kant 101, it could be fun if I Iron Man his arguments and fight you. After, okay, after. We'll do that tonight. Brooks, we're doing bad to lose tonight, okay? We can talk about this a little bit. Because I don't want to spend too much time. Because he's not, here's the problem. I'm Iron Manning it. There's just nothing there. Like, there are, like, you can tell he's encountered things that are intelligent, okay? As people who are on the internet for a long time are wont to do. But he doesn't read. He probably couldn't if he tried. And he's hopelessly out of his depth. This is what happens when you have someone with basically zero education who has been convinced that they're genius. This is Rudyard without the kratom. This is Whatifalthist with less mercury and less ayahuasca and more meth. That's what this is. This is what if I did meth? More Vyvanse. The problem, however, is when someone confuses their pleasure-seeking for truth-seeking. People will become confused, assuming their sense and intuitions are naturally leading them to truthful grounds, resulting in them having far more confidence in their beliefs than they should, and preventing them from developing healthy epistemic practices. Destiny's footnote on healthy epistemic practices. Ooh. Oh, I love this. Step 1 to healthy epistemic practices. Be willing to read. Sometimes you have to read whole quotes or entire pages on stream. Whole pages of books. There is no shortcut to reading, as Marx said. There's no royal road to science. Unfortunately, it can be articles. There is no shortcut to reading, unfortunately. It can be articles, books, Wikipedia entries, news articles, documentaries, whatever. You don't read documentaries, Destiny, you watch them. They're documentaries. It's television. When you read and study something, like a documentary apparently, you develop a fluid vocabulary and working knowledge of the particular thing you are studying. This will help you critically evaluate how trustworthy a particular thing you're reading is, and will help you weed out good from bad information. I got some bad news for you, friendos. You don't actually learn critical thinking from reading stuff. You have to read particular stuff that instructs you how to think critically. And if you've never done so, well, you're kind of hooped, because you're going to read stuff that doesn't touch on that, and you're going to process that information in a non-critical way. And you may have a whole ton of factoids in your reservoir and no way to do anything with them. Because all you have are names and dates, and it's your child brain that's sorting them out and interpreting them. And you're probably not breaking them down very much or interrogating them very well. That's how you get Whatifalthists. You have people who think they're brilliant, think they have all the tools, and all they got to do is just consume words. They just have to consume knowledge, and that's it. And what they will gravitate towards are things that they can consume, and they will ignore things that they can't consume. Why? Because they're already smart enough. They don't need to. They don't need to work on their like interpretive or critical thinking apparatus at all. They just need to get more information. And so what you have are people like Destiny, who spend an extensive amount of time consuming very low quality, uncritically presented information, and they'll possibly have a few debates about it even, and then they'll go do something else. And when they go do something else, something funny will happen. They will forget all of it. And the reason why is because there was literally no actual mentally tactile engagement with the stuff. There's nothing to link it to memory because they never understood a process. They never understood what it means. What it means, for example, for... I mean, you could just stop there. They'll never understand what it means. But let's say they're given an explanation of a behavior by a thing, okay, by an entity. Palestine's a great example. Let's say the Palestinians rejected this proposal. Okay. If you aren't able to think critically, you will not think critically about what it means for, quote unquote, the Palestinians to reject a thing. You will not understand what the thing is besides the name given to it by the source you're reading. You will not understand what it means for a thing to be proposed, so on and so forth, which is really important. Here's an example. Palestinians rejected a two-state solution. What is a state? What is a two-state solution? What does that mean? What does that mean to be given a free choice or to be given a choice under coercion? So on and so forth. So here's something that comes up a lot in... here's something that's barely touched on because nobody bothers to do political science anymore. Just fair, it's boring. Two-state solution. Hey, Palestinians, we got a deal for you, okay? We will give you we'll give you your own state, okay? Asterisk. You'll have no control of your water. You'll have no control of your borders. You'll have no control of your diplomacy, none of your airspace, etc., etc. By the way, we can invade you at will based on our judgment at any time. We'll have listening posts inside your territory. Basically, we will control you and everything you do and everything you have in every way, shape, and form. But you got your own state. I wouldn't take that deal. Terrible deal. Now, if you followed that up with, and if you don't take this deal, we will kill you and everyone you care about, you might take the deal, right? Which is, in fact, what happened. But that's an example. If you are reading at that surface level, you're not going to understand anything. I recommend logic books, but that's just me. Logic books are good. Brooks and I have both been reading a little bit through Copy's Symbolic Logic, which is really good. It's a very, very clear, very efficient explication of symbolic logic. I haven't gone through all of it yet, but even a doo-doo head like me can figure it out, so that's good. Really great introduction. Check your biases. Don't ever fool yourself into thinking you are free of biases. Instead, when you begin reading an article, write down what you are predisposed to believe and what you are predisposed to disagree with. Let me tell you a secret, friendos. The reason why critical thinking is so important and why being educated in critical thinking is so important, it's because the nature of the problem, the reason why we have critical thinking is because you do not know what you are predisposed to believe. That's important. You're predisposed, just to be clear, to believe that the ground is flat. You're predisposed to believe that time is a sequence. You're predisposed to believe that objects are discontinuous from their surrounding environment and have an independent existence from the world and can be conceived as objects, so on and so forth. But you don't know that. You got to think really hard. You got to think, as it turns out, for a couple thousand years to figure that out. At least. Just to be clear. So the idea that you can just write down your biases in advance of reading something is the most naive, stupid idea imaginable. And it cements again, this person has not been educated. This is a rube. He's a bozo. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He doesn't know that he doesn't know what he's talking about, which is worse. It's okay to not know what you're talking about. and to be open to correction and open to learning and so on and so forth. Everybody's like that all the time. But if you think you figured it out and you're now writing your own treatise, you're done. You've aborted life. Like, you're gone. You can't grow anymore. Like, it's over. You've inoculated yourself from sentience. How do you choose your path of reading without bias, though? That's an excellent point. Bias plays into even before you start reading. You've picked this source and not that source. You've ignored this one and this one and this one and this one to focus on this one. Why? Why have you done so? Your environment has conditioned you not only to prefer, but to be aware of specific texts and so on and so forth. 10 years ago, this book not only would bore me by its cover, I would not have any interest in it, I wouldn't know what it was. I'd have no conception of what it was. It'd be like, what's that weird pink thing? It looks like some weird shit that'd be on like a church library bookshelf. You'd ignore it. And now we have a little bit of, judging by the formatting here, a little bit of poetry. Don't fall into the pitfall of believing things because they feel good. Do your own research, but for real. Do your own research, but for real. Thanks, Stephen. Thanks. Glad. Great, we figured that out. Brilliant. Okay, guys, it's just, listen, okay? What you gotta do is do your own research, but you gotta do it for real, okay? It's that simple. You just gotta do it for real. Don't be selectively skeptical. Always ask yourself what it would take to convince you of the other side. Why would you presume that you would know what it would take to convince you of the other side? That would suggest that you already have all of the information about the case to hand to begin with. There may be angles of approach that you haven't even conceived of. Always be able to argue both sides of an argument better than anyone else you argue against. How do you do that unless you've already known what their arguments are? This presumes like some ability to have pre-knowledge of future events, future interactions. This is what you, look, here's the secret, guys. Here's the secret to knowing things, okay? Just know what you need to know before you know it. It's simple. It all makes sense now. Match your conviction with your knowledge. Don't identify your positions with your character. Probably a wise decision for Stephen Bonnell in particular. And save that for your moral positions. Definitely an unwise position for Stephen Bonnell in particular. Maybe people whose incentives are misaligned or can't be aligned should be removed from that particular decision-making process or having a red team for certain things. Why are we all in caps? Principled illusions where you think you align principally with someone, but you're actually completely misaligned on every single applied position. Difference between things in here that you must control for, be aware of, versus things you should never do. Why is this all in caps? Did you hit caps lock by accident? Is that what happened? You probably did that, yeah. Difference between things in here that you must control. I read that already. Echo chamber, epistemic bubble, black-white thinking, blah, 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 blah. Let's go back. I gotta pee, 1 sec. All right, let's continue. Oh, this is I'm enjoying this. Thank you, Stephen. Thank you for this. This is wonderful. This is just wonderful. Oh, we should probably reset the bar. So we're at D36, and we went over by 10 for theory, so we're at 10 for theory. Okay. Ah. Let's continue. How to avoid. How to avoid your limitations. The pitfall should be easy enough to avoid with some simple introspection. Just realize that your senses did not evolve to convey truth to you. Ooh. 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 That's good. That's good. Good. They evolved to help you survive and to help your genes persevere. No, nothing more. That's not true. We can easily conceive of times when lies may help a person survive, e.g., convincing a person that eating all pork is evil. But there's a problem, though, isn't there? There is a bit of a problem with this. Because realizing that your senses did not evolve to convey truth to you means that humans don't treat truth as instrumental. They don't have it. They don't have it. At all. At all. That's the point. We can easily conceive of times when lies, quote unquote, may help a person survive, e.g., convincing a person that eating all pork is evil, since much of the meat may be prone to disease. Yeah, but no, it doesn't follow. If you have no formal training, a simple philosophy class or media literacy course in formal thinking, it may be best to find... Really? If you have no formal training, a simple philosophy class or media literacy course. If you have no training, a simple philosophy class, I don't know what that means, a simple philosophy class, or media literacy course. If you have no formal training in formal thinking, I don't know what it means by formal thinking here, it may be best to find some. Naturally, our minds are not inclined to rational thought, just to identifying patterns, real or imaginary, that further our survival. Well, if they're imaginary, they don't further your survival, do they? Like that if you're juxtaposing the imaginary from the real, which is naive. Because the quote-unquote real is an image. God. You almost have to feel sorry for this for this boob. Oh. This is the stuff Nick was talking about with erudite. Well, actually, it's funny that you mentioned that. Because erudite said something that kind of strikes me as funny here. Oh, was it? It was healthy epistemic practices. That was it. Match your conviction with your knowledge. Okay, right here. Match your conviction with your knowledge. So saith the holder of the butt plug of the wife. Kyla did not take this lesson from Stephen. Kyla believes this. You should, in fact, argue a point even if you don't believe it 100%. Really, really hard. That's what she thinks. Just pretend it's true. Truth is a matter of fake it till you make it. How to help others. It's important to recognize this because humans who believe their senses naturally and intuitively lead them to truthful things rather than pleasurable things. That's so stupid. Pleasurable things. No, it doesn't lead you to pleasurable things at all. That's very stupid. Even in like a bare bones avoiding predators situation, that's not going towards pleasure. That's going away from pain, or not even pain. That's too abstract. An object of immediate fear, right? Humans who believe their senses naturally and intuitively lead them to truthful things rather than pleasurable things are likely to confuse the two when there is incentive to believe the truth about a thing. Indeed. What's incentive? Incentive! Footnote! Footnote from the dialogues of Borelli. Oh my god. This is so stupid. Social incentives dictate beliefs. No. Social incentives provide pressure to adopt or to not adopt certain beliefs. They don't dictate beliefs. What a stupid, what an insipid thing to say. If social incentives dictated beliefs, there would be no such thing as rebellious beliefs, period. Because by their nature, they lack social incentives. Why does Destiny constantly argue in favor of uncomfortable truths, all while embracing a world that conveniences him? Because Destiny is saturated with cognitive dissonance because he's a mental child. This is what happens when you get too much money too early, too much success too early, and you think wrongly that it's because of you. Nothing is because of you. Nothing ever is because of you, just to be clear. People rarely apply a consistent, rational formulation for whatever their beliefs are. This is not because people are stupid or lack the ability to do so, but rather because there is little to no incentive for doing so. Truth is simply a means to enrich our lives. There's a subtext to this, which is that Stephen has discovered what truth is, because he has discovered what it simply is. Imagine the level of hubris it takes for a high school educated video game streamer to dictate to you that truth is simply a means to enrich our lives. How has the truth of this been verified, one wonders? For the majority of political issues, it is easier to change the truth than it is to change one's mind. Even if we take truth to simply be a means to enrich our lives, it is very difficult actually to change what enriches our lives. That's a really weird thing to claim. There is great incentive in believing in particular untrue things, especially when there is little practical consequences for having an incorrect understanding of an issue. Well, the problem, though, is that if social incentives dictate beliefs, and there is great incentive in believing in particular untrue things, then, well, that's it. We're kind of... I mean, we're just kind of done then, aren't we? Because we'd never believe things that we're disincentivized to believe. But that's okay, because truth is simply a means to enrich our lives, and so therefore, if we follow the things we have incentive in believing and our lives are enriched, we found truth. Apparently. Truth is just like jerking off. Or having a little Steven, as he calls it. I just made a whole lot of chaste people with that comment. The first line is a self-report for this document. People rarely apply a consistent formulation for whatever their beliefs are. Apply a consistent rational formulation. That's interesting. Apply a consistent rational formulation. The problem with presuming that you're applying a consistent rational formulation for your beliefs is that your beliefs are part of the process, are a part of they are in high up on the ingredients list for what your rational formulation, quote unquote, of your beliefs is. Can we skip to his philosophy of mind? How far long have we been doing this? This is so good, though. We're almost at an hour already. This is so good, though. Examples of social pressure. One might have family members belonging to a certain religion. Leaving that belief system might entail being completely disowned by one's family, which would lead to significant loss of financial and social support. But now we're talking about avowals of beliefs. We're not talking about beliefs. We're talking about identifying publicly with beliefs. That's not the same thing. Your family does not have access to your mind. Therefore, they cannot tell what you believe, except insofar as you socially talk about it. That doesn't affect belief. One might have an audience that demands to hear a certain thing, and giving a take counter to what that audience believes might cause one to incur a significant financial or reputational loss. That also doesn't have to do with belief. If that did have to do with belief, that would make grifting impossible. The entire point of grifting is that you don't believe what you're saying. You are doing this for a financial incentive. You do not believe this. One might belong to social groups in school or on social media that demand adherence to certain socio-political beliefs, and betraying those beliefs or not showing strong support for them might result in the person being thrown out of said social group. That also has nothing to do with belief. His entire thing on belief has nothing to do with beliefs. What I gained from this, however, is that for Stephen Bennell, there is no distinction between beliefs and the social appraisal of what your beliefs are, which means that Stephen has no first-person experience. He's a zombie. Which, you know, is a thesis I'm happy to entertain. He's a zombie. He actually is a pea zombie. Stephen Bennell is a philosophical zombie in his own words. On that note, let's look at his theory of mind. It's very small. It is very short. In fact, it is just everything we've read. Stephen Bennell is a philosophical zombie. It just means he's so deep in belief he can't even see it, which, by the way, is a softer way of saying almost the same thing. This is why philosophy and critical thinking are really important. Because, as a general rule, this is how you distinguish between someone who's, like, going somewhere philosophically, hopefully, and someone who has no chance. Please, aesthetics? Yeah, we'll do aesthetics in a second. If someone thinks they know everything, or they couch them not knowing everything in a framework that allows them to basically know everything that can be knowable. Bergson has it out, not in this book. I'm sure he touches on it at some point, because everything builds on the next thing. But Bergson has a wonderful conception of consciousness. Consciousness versus automation. When you learn to walk, it takes effort. You lack coordination. Every step you think about, you move them independently, individually. I speculate. I don't remember being a baby that well. But oh my god, I actually remember learning to walk. Holy shit, I've got a memory of that. We had a brown carpet. That's weird. You have to, like, pay attention to where your individual feet and hands go. However, once you learn how to walk, you don't think about it anymore. It's automatic. It's like breathing, like riding a bike. Those complicated, all those muscles, more than you can visualize in your head, muscles you don't even know exist, all of a sudden start to work automatically. You ambulate without thinking about it. Consciousness arises at a point where choices have to be made, where there's uncertainty, where there's dilemmas, where there's, like, things that you have to pay attention to do. And past that, once that becomes cemented in memory, once a solution is found, it passes from consciousness to something automatic. You just do it now. And consciousness moves on to the next dilemma. It's one of the reasons why time feels like it goes faster the older you get. It's not because it's actually going faster. It's not because your brain gains the super ability to go through time faster. It's because more and more of your life is outside of the realm of consciousness. If you are at a point where questions at the level of philosophical interest are already settled for you, where you have an automatic process for going from A to Z, then at no point is a dilemma actually openable to you where you actually are engaging in philosophical thought, and actual introspection, and actual critical thinking, because it's all done. You've changed from a thinking thing to a non-thinking thing. And even in your thinking, quote unquote, you're non-thinking. Everything is habit. It's terrifying, actually, when you think about it. And you'll notice this. When you are really engaged in something new and you're learning something new, time goes slow. When you're deeply invested and engaged in something, time slows down. When you're paying attention to things, when you maybe engage in some kind of mindfulness activity, say, time slows down. The lesson is, do new shit and never think that you've actually covered it all. And never ever put imaginary brackets around everything there is to be known, because you don't know if there are brackets. You don't know if there are limits. You don't know if there's infinite intelligibility out there. You don't know. You don't have the organs to know. So when when Stephen Bennell says, I've spent a great portion of my life arguing with a variety of people across a multitude of environment, just the one apparently, so I'm in a unique position to evaluate how people arrive at conclusions and modify their beliefs, what he is telling you is that he is incapable of knowing anything. He has aborted that part of his human existence. That's gone. Unique position to evaluate how people arrive at conclusions and modify their beliefs? Yes, somewhat unique. He's at the bottom of a well. A very deep one, a very dark one. A lot of skeletons down there. Here, I'll keep track of how I believe people put together their beliefs, the shortcomings of many of these systems. Of course, he just said, if you'll recall, and this is a symptom, by the way, of him having aborted that part of his mind, he just said that people rarely form systems and apply systems about how they believe things. The shortcomings of many of these systems, how to protect your own mind against these pitfalls, and how to draw others away from the same traps, implying somehow that he is aware of himself having evaded some trap himself. He clearly has not. This is all a trap. This is someone who has committed intellectual suicide. Destiny is literally what happens if you give your greasy carpet cleaner unlimited income. Yeah. Does he think other people don't have discussions? Yeah. Here's what you need to understand about Stephen. Stephen's not cynical. Stephen thinks he's cynical. Stephen is really, really stupid. Like a mushroom. Really stupid. What's the drink tonight? Oh, it's a local brewery. It's from Balderdash. It's just called the Sneaky Weasel, which sounds trashy. And it is trashy, but it tastes fine. It's like a basic bitch lager. It's the spot, though. Or mushrooms. Mushrooms are great. Bergson thinks they're aborted vegetable life. You can tell he's from the twin. You can tell when he was writing. Bergson on Creative Evolution is a weird-ass book. It's got a lot of... It's brilliant, and it is so dated. Oh my god. But it's so good. Even that part, though, like that section has a lot of stuff of interest there. Okay. Brooks has asked, aesthetics versus function. I clicked it. Oh, this is a long one. Oh boy. Oh golly gee. I'm excited. We're here to learn. I might need that second beer, honestly. Aesthetic versus function.
What is it? Tell me where the function is. Then you have my permission to cry.
There are many things in this world possessing a desirable aesthetic due to their function, Frodo Baggins, and none of them are to be used lightly. There are many things possessing a desirable aesthetic function due to their function, for instance, the sound of an engine running smoothly or the color of a perfectly ripe piece of fruit. I really hate when Steven says something like a perfectly ripe piece of fruit, because we know he has people in mind. Very young people. Many times, perfectly ripe. Age of consent is just a social convention. Many times, a decent amount of work needs to be done to achieve the desired functionality, so sometimes it becomes easier through deception to have the appearance of functionality, rather than actually achieving said functionality. Instead of having a car that runs well, someone might artificially roll back the mileage or sloppily paint over a damaged exterior in order to mask greater damage on the inside. This is why a friend or family member will recommend taking along someone more experienced with you when purchasing a used car, so the more experienced party can spot the deception and inform the potential buyer that the seller has attempted to emulate the function via aesthetic rather than adopt the functionality itself. This is what I mean when I talk about aesthetic versus function. He doesn't know what aesthetics means. He thinks aesthetics means appearance. And he thinks appearance means, this is what you think it is, but actually underneath. Ha ha ha. In public discourse, there are many things people say. I don't know why that's in italics. Oh, I guess say, because you say that, but yeah, okay. In public discourse, there are many things people say because it gives them the aesthetic. Should put that in. Okay. The aesthetic of being truth-seeking. In public discourse, there are many things people say because it gives them the aesthetic of being truth-seeking critical thinkers. Unfortunately, the majority of the time, this is achieved through deception and wordplay, rather than the person adopting the actual functionality they claim to have. This is bland. The nonpartisan. Oh, you think you're a centrist, but actually, oh, you say you're rational, but actually, oh, you say you're skeptical, but actually, oh, you're just telling us uncomfortable truths, Mr. Peterson, but actually. Okay, how to avoid. There are many simple strategies you can deploy to avoid falling into this trap of people who just tell you that they know things but they don't. What you should essentially be doing is finding some good research practices to commit yourself to in order to ensure you're collecting information in an active manner, not a passive manner, where a social media feed, YouTube, X, Facebook, etc., is feeding you what keeps you clicking. You'd be out of a job without that, Steve. How to help others. Oh my god. Here's a few simple ways to help others be aware of these pitfalls. Ask them these questions. Jesus, where does the person you're listening to get their information from? Are they open and honest about how they are informed, more than just saying they read a variety of sources? That's you, Stephen. Does the person you listen to ever speak to people with opposing views? Not in an insignificant way, but someone who substantively disagrees with them. That's you, Stephen. Does the person you listen to ever break from their party in substantive ways, or do they always fall in line with their group? That's you, Stephen. Oh my god, man. Do they change their minds on their own against the grain, or do they only ever seem to change their mind when their group changes their mind? That's you, Stephen. Click on the cognitive bias link. That's healthy epistemic practices. We're here again. Cognitive dissonance. This is his cognitive... He has no cognitive dissonance. He is the Lisan al-Gaib. He sees all, knows all, inserts all. Deeply. What belongs to his wife. You know what? We're gonna do a thing, okay? Do a thing. Humans treat truth as instrumental. Jesus. Meaning truth is simply and only a tool to be utilized to further someone's personal happiness. This is most obviously seen in the dichotomy of science versus technology, where science is an exploration of the universe and technology is the application of wait, that exploration in order to create some useful tool for us to enrich our lives. Jesus. We're back to Rudyard. We're done. We did it, guys. We went through the entire oeuvre of a modern day philosopher king in 1 hour. He's like we got the entirety of Dr. House's philosophy on life in 1 hour. Well done, everyone. You've done it. You graduated to the next level, okay? You'll be able to hear the advanced lectures of L. Ron Hubbard now. All right, we're going back to Rudy. I'm going to grab my other drink because, dear God, do I need it. Be right back. All right. That was more fun than I thought it would be. That was actually great. I hope he makes more. That was great. I love that. Sunday pronounced it wrong. What did I pronounce wrong? Lisan al-Gaib? Lisan al-Gaib, that's how you pronounce it. You don't pronounce it theory of mind? Oh crap, it's almost 1 a.m. I need to get up early for my hospital visit, but I can't sleep right now. It's Rudy time. No, go to sleep. Go to sleep. It is not Rudy time. You say it like Garib? I say Gaib. Lisan al-Gaib. I don't say Garib. That's just my voice. I can't help that I sound like I have marbles in my mouth. That's my genes, okay? Lisan al-Gaib. But Rudy, no buts. Go to sleep. Bedtime. You got a hospital visit tomorrow. Listen, Gabe. Listen, Gabe. Oh, hi, Mark. Listen. Lisan al-Gaben. Or if he gets a new car, Nissan al-Gaib. Alright. We've got just under 2 hours of this left. I'm hoping that this section is under an hour. Under an hour left. Hold on to your butts.
No, you attain a certain level of mental and philosophic progress where God sees that you are psychologically advanced enough to be able to pass on to the next level. Where you look at the history of philosophy, you find that there was a philosophic and a religious breakthrough, and then from that came the technological breakthrough. You see,
we actually kind of see the opposite. We see technological breakthroughs at best concurrent with religious and philosophical breakthroughs. A great example of this is the emergence of the idea of what we call justice now. Dike, I think is how you pronounce it. There's a good chapter in Christian Meyer's The Great Discovery of Politics where he talks about this. The emergence of an idea that there is a right way to order things and a not right way to order things that gives rise to constitutional debates being approached by philosophers like Solon and whatnot, right? And this is concurrent with innovations in geometry, specifically in things like measuring the movement of light, the discovery of like the curvature of the earth and things like that.
that with the Renaissance, followed by the rise of capitalism. You see it with the crisis of first the 17th century crisis. That horrible period of burning resulted in the Enlightenment. In the
Love that book, still haven't finished. Have you started The Great Discovery of Politics by Christian Meyer? If you can find a copy of it, it's really good. Really good.
Intellectual breakthrough, and then from that came the Industrial Revolution. So your society shut off the ability to relate with the realm of forms independent from what your leftist and modernist priest class told you to. So you're going to get fed a lot of new ideas because the level of mental development you have is
that of a 6-year-old girl, because you are an Atlantean, not a 40-year-old man like those Martians.
Predicates.
And you've been forced into a marriage against your will.
The level of how much you can control.
Let me know in chat if you understand that reference.
Your material environment. I'm speaking in a lot of different circles here, but I need to get to the main point I started this video with, which is...
That's a good question. I've quite forgotten myself in all the confusion.
Life and death.
Oh, okay. I thought it was about your biography and how you talked to God and went to hell.
where life and death have an innate physics to them, and
Why would life and death have an innate physics to them? Death is the dissolution of organization that interests certain living organisms, but subspecie aeternitatis doesn't mean anything. There's no less life in the world because one larger organism breaks down and smaller organisms feed on it. That's not... There's no physics there.
in which they are so inextricably bound together,
Unless he's bringing in life force again. In which case, yay, Bergson.
where when you increase one, you increase the other, and there is no life without death.
Does he know what physics is? I think he thinks physics is just determinism or atomism or whatever. Like he thinks, oh, I can conceive of things as being comprised of parts that interact with each other. Physics!
The fear of death is the thing that powers life.
Really? I'm not drinking this because I fear death, friendo.
Life with few fears of death is a life that's far more boring, and it doesn't generate as much life charge.
I mean, how dangerous is your sex life, Rudy?
Because there's this innate force
Physics is stored in the balls, of course.
to life. Henry Bergson, who is a philosopher I keep on...
Oh! Excuse me. I'm okay. Everyone stay calm. There's an explanation for this. Clearly, I am the only real person here. And all of you, Rudy included, are mere figments of my imagination. Which means, for those of you who decide not to super chat this stream, remember, if I go, you all go. I'm scared to continue.
going through philosophy books, and I skip him because I find him boring.
False alarm. Everyone calm down. No need to donate to me. I'll do this labor for you for free. Like a good leftist.
He developed this idea of life force.
No. No, don't do this.
And it's this active life charge, and you are happy when you get to relate your life charge and to feel others' life charge.
What?
Example of this is children. You added a new life charge into the world. Another example of this is...
Did he read the one Bergson book I haven't fully read yet? Because that definitely doesn't come from creative evolution. But that's where it comes from in creative... But that comes from creative evolution. No, this is just political. What? What? No, he hasn't read Bergson. He's Someone's mentioned something to do with Bergson, and he's Petersoned it.
Having friends and doing cool stuff where
Aristotle has life force. No, Aristotle has an animating principle. That's different.
let me use an example. The philosophy I'm describing, the Hermetic philosophy, stems ultimately back to ancient Egypt.
Crisis averted.
And they built the pyramids because the way their philosophy worked is that they saw the pyramids as a huge spiritual nuclear reactor.
I'm pretty sure they stacked a nuclear reactor. What?
Because their idea is if we make something super, super cool, people across all of history will respect us.
Yeah, that's not how nuclear reactors work, Rudyard.
This will unify our country together through the shared difficulty of building it, and it will create a national symbol.
Unfortunately, however, the Martians came before they could complete the Merkaba, and it became a kind of metaphysical Chernobyl. Rothra, thanks to the €5. Alas, if I do not super chat, it's because you didn't imagine me doing so. Oh shit, you're right. Generous thoughts. Generous thoughts. GENEROUSTHOTS. Generous thoughts. Donate. Thank you very much for the €5. Bootstraps.
And so the way they processed it is the pyramids were they were a magical nuclear reactor. And they might have been right.
They might have been right.
Haven't read that much about Egypt.
I haven't read that much about Egypt. They might have been nuclear reactors, spiritual nuclear reactors, spiritual nukes.
But
Tuna fish is made in a nuclear reactor. Tuna fish is stored in the balls.
life force rewards cool stuff because the
Life force rewards cool stuff.
anima mundi, or the mind of God, is powered off extreme emotions. And learning is not learning until learning's not learning until there's an emotion attached to it. This is why
Me learning how to draw a capital A in elementary school.
school is so boring. You're forced to cram all these human life experiences down your throat, and you become very resentful because you never asked for this, you never consented it. You were forced to go to school. You were
I got a gold sticker, actually, and I was very appreciative.
forced to spend all those hours there to
Meowser for the $2 tuna piano fish. How true, brother. How true.
learn skills that weren't really useful. Schooling's got some positives. We have complete literacy, but it kills creativity. And
Literacy kills creativity.
so the learning you care about,
Go back to monkey that has not learned how to write.
learning you find
So apparently we've taught monkeys how to write.
interesting is learning with an emotional, moral element to it. Because learning is something your body does. You go through the struggle of the world so that your body may learn. And then over the course of your life, there are a multiplicity of options or different destinies. In medieval philosophy,
But monkeys can only write using typewriters.
destiny is the best possible life God gave you. And God will reward you because he drops hints to how to find your destiny. And I
I don't want to find... We already found Destiny earlier. It's not a good place to go. We don't want to go there, Rudyard.
found my destiny.
No, Destiny found his Rudyard.
And I'm super happy about it. In
But we're not.
most timelines, I would not. And
Well, that's reassuring.
so
If he actually read Bergson, that would have been awesome. God, can you imagine? He'd be growing with me, just like a cancer. It'd be beautiful.
you can see your hints for your destiny. And the destiny powers the game of evolution so much more because it provides so much life charge.
Phrasing.
And then you have your fate, which is your average outcome for your life.
Dude, LA is burning down. Yeah, well, burning down over here, too. That's crazy, but has there been an update? Holy shit. Okay, quick digression, okay? Editor, quick digression. God damn.
We're here in the heart of the Pacific Palisades, in a neighborhood that is a total loss. You've got a home here, I'm gonna flip over here. Another home lost. When we go over this way, homes down this street gone. This one completely leveled.
Oh my god.
God damn. My family lives in Santa Monica, the city right next to the Palisades. Have they evacuated? Your family's okay. Sorry to hear that. Median cost of a house in that area is $4.6 million. Be tugging my collar if I was an insurance company leader at this point. There's video of dozers having to push up Palisades, literally bulldozing cars to make room. God damn. Heavy storms one side, inferno the other. We've been lucky here. We're going to be the last place to feel it, likely. We've got a giant earthquake. Apparently it's been winding up for a few thousand years, so. A few hundred years. 500 years? Odin is punishing California for being leftists who betrayed the great prophet Rudyard. Yes. What broke me was the stories of pets left behind. I can't. Sent you a wild moment.
They are trying to get to that. Unfortunately, they can't do that because of all of these cars. That's exactly why this is so dangerous, especially in this wind-driven fire. If you can't get to where you need to go to, that is a big problem for these emergency officials. I'm going to see these firefighters are so busy, but they've been very kind and have talked to me intermittently. Let me see. I'm going to walk on over. CHP.
Yes, sir.
Officer, what's your name?
Officer Casey Ramstead, California Highway Patrol West Valley Office.
Thank you so much for talking to us. You're on KTLA 5 News Live. We've been taking this wall-to-wall coverage with this Palisades fire. Why is this so dangerous? It's pretty obvious to us.
Yeah, well, just like anything else, with people evacuating the area, you've got to have people that are going in towards the danger. All these firefighters from all over the area need to be able to get their equipment, their fire trucks, their engines, everything else through. And when people go, well, forget it, I'm going to go on the wrong side of the road, and they start blocking it off, and it turns into an even more serious situation. We had fire on both sides, apparently, and once that lit on fire, then people started leaving their cars, and when they left them, they obviously didn't leave them running, didn't leave the keys in them. So once we have to make a hole, fire said, we got to get through. So obviously they're proving they can.
And we know this is one of those situations where a lot of people panicked. They took their keys, they left their cars, they ditched them, and they just took off. Why is this such a hassle to you as a fire official, emergency official?
Well, just any time we're trying to get to the spot. We don't want houses to burn. We don't want people to get hurt. We don't want anything to happen. And so you need as many officials.
Those are contradictory if you're removing them from their cars.
You need the fire, you need the police, you need EMS. They need to be able to get in here and get through. And when the whole road is blocked, literally there was a house right over the edge.
Fucking morons. Such a sad display of panic and mismanagement, yeah. Jesus Christ, you fucking morons.
here that was on fire that they can't even get their fire trucks to because there was a blockade of just abandoned vehicles.
Get their fire trucks to, Jesus.
Are you worried that there are homes on fire now that we're seeing a clearer view here on KTLA 5? There's a house on fire. I know the wind-driven fire is just so intense. It's probably one of the worst we've seen in quite a while. Is there a huge issue? Are you worried people are trapped up there?
I mean, that's always going to be a concern. We give out the information. Everybody with cell phones. It's all. My phone's gone off
Everybody with cell phones.
4 times while I'm sitting here in order of the evacuation. And with that, you've got people trying to evacuate. There might be people that are unable to evacuate for miscellaneous medical conditions, disabilities, things like that. So obviously, that's always a point of concern. So the less houses that.
There's the 279 Canadian that are connected to smelter on fire.
We need to have these roadways clear. We need people to pay attention, keep a cool head, follow the directions. Sometimes it's really slow going. I get it. You've got multiple people. This area, it's in the firefighters' hands now. These are the guys that need to get through and they need to do work. And the best way to let them work is stay out of their way.
Have you seen an intense fire, a wind-driven fire like this? It's been quite a while.
I mean, I feel like I've lived in the San Fernando Valley my entire life. I feel like it always comes up every couple years. Some are worse than others. The Malibu one from, 2018, 19? That one, or was that 2020? I don't remember. That was one of the worst I'd ever seen. And that's working EMS back in the day out here and doing the standbys. It's just unfortunately, we're really good at preventing fires. So then all that fuel builds up. So when the fires hit, they hit hard.
And so this situation, what happens to these people's cars? Because unfortunately, with this wind-driven fire, just the Pacific Palisades, there are folks out in Santa Monica, other areas. If embers start flying, they could have fires over there. Unfortunately, we're talking some homes destroyed, many of them, as well as structures. What should they do? I mean, obviously, this is the worst-case situation where people.
What the fuck? Millionaire who complained about property taxes slammed for offering to pay any amount for private firefighters to save his Pacific Palisades mansion from fire. Sucker. I hope it burned off your scraggly beard, too. I might be getting a call in. Hang on. Oops. Remember that Ephemophile guy got really upset last time? Yeah, that one. Okay. In the meantime. Rudyard, make it so.
And so, when you look back upon your life,
Oh, how I love it when they make it so.
the thing that you think on your deathbed was, how much cool shit did I do?
I'm pretty sure on my deathbed I'd be thinking, boy, I sure wish I could drink water.
And so, the active life charge from being cool and having fun and doing awesome stuff, it powers life, because when future life thinks of you, they are inspired. where look at the great men of history. They became great men from reading about other great men.
So they weren't great men then, Rudyard?
The Roman Empire spawned so many future empires because they admired the Romans and wanted to imitate them, wanted to take their thing. So life through awesomeness...
Life finds a way to make great men.
...expands itself further and further more. In life...
When is this going to end? Well, we are 2 hours and 18 minutes in, and this is 4 hours and 4 minutes long. So, then...
ultimate goal is evolution, and it uses consciousness as a tool to direct evolution.
Wait, what? Oh, he is actually getting really, really badly telephoned in Bergson. That's crazy. That's actually crazy.
The Romans and wanted to imitate them, wanted to take their thing. So life through awesomeness expands itself further and further more. And life's ultimate goal is evolution.
Life's ultimate goal is evolution.
It uses consciousness as a tool to direct evolution.
And it uses consciousness as a tool to direct, except it doesn't, because for it to use anything as a tool, it would have to itself be conscious. He's getting a lot of Bergsonian terms. He is legitimately getting Bergsonian terms from someone. There's been a very subtle flood of interest in Bergson lately, and people get him very badly. I haven't checked out that new book yet. What's it called? Shit. Herald of a Restless... Hang on. Restless World? Herald of a Restless World, how Henri Bergson brought philosophy to the people. I don't expect it to be very good. It's a biography of Henri Bergson. I would personally recommend Canal's The Physicist and the Philosopher, if you're so interested. But where to start with Bergson? Time and Free Will. I would read Time and Free Will, Matter and Memory, and Creative Evolution. Like Through Awesomeness feels like a Bible camo slogan. It does. A Bible camp slogan? Yeah, it does. It really does. Not camo. Camp.
Where I am speaking to your consciousness.
Anyone ever get the Extreme... Is it called the Extreme Bible? They give out, they frequently give out copies of, is it the Good News translation? Of the Bible at like summer camps and whatnot, and like churches. It's a very dumbed down paraphrase. It might be the Action Bible. Let's see. Oh, no, Extreme Faith. The Extreme Faith Bible, that's it. I had this. I actually got this. Check this weird thing out, okay? Like, just look at this thing. I still to this day don't know what's going on with this woman's leg. She's got like her leg has like a gap in it. Very confusing. This guy's skydiving with a Bible.
It's scrumpadoocious.
None of them look like the thing you're holding. Very odd.
Your consciousness is a thin time knife that exists in a very specific sub-region of...
Your consciousness is a thin time knife.
Time at any given time.
No, that's wrong. Hang on. Wait, that's wrong.
Consciousness as a tool to direct...
One moment. Okay.
Evolution. Where I am speaking to your consciousness. Your consciousness is a thin time knife that exists in a very specific sub-region of time.
No, that's wrong. That's wrong for the very simple reason that Bergson's entire controversy with Einstein was that Einstein conceived of time as a thing that is capable of having regions, in Rudyard's language here. See, Bergson starts off his oeuvre critiquing Kant's conception of time. So in Kant's transcendental aesthetic, what he tries to use to argue, what he frames as like the conditions of knowledge such that human beings cannot argue beyond them. Kant argues that we can't make determinative judgments about God, the immortality of the soul, morals even, etc., etc. Because those judgments are about things that transcend time and space. And for Kant, time and space are thus. They are not real manifolds in the world. They are the way in which we perceive things as different from each other. As in, one thing is delineated from another. Things are defined against each other. This thing is different from this thing because this thing is there and this thing is here. Pure difference in Bergson's language without qualitative difference. Pure difference. And we think in time. One concept precedes another, which precedes another, which precedes another, and so on. Okay? Bergson makes the very, very interesting observation that if you conceive of time as this thing, before this thing, before this thing, before this thing, you are conceiving of time as something that is spatially divisible, i.e. ipso facto ergo concordantly vis-a-vis. You are conceiving of time as space. Ooh. So for you to occupy a point in time would be to actually erase time from your philosophical vocabulary, because you are only talking about a spatialization of time remembered. Because human beings remember past events, and they therefore, because they intuit things in spatial terms, this is how we reason and navigate the world, is through identifying independent objects that provide affordances to us, that are sites of possible action for human bodies. We conceive of time, therefore, when we think of the flow of just general change, as a sequence of discrete objects, of discrete events. One moment, next moment, that moment, that moment. But that's not what time is. Time, as Bergson conceives it, is right now, the ever-changing now, the actual change. It rolls up the past behind it, and it eats up a mysterious other thing. And it is the action that is identifiable with spirit itself. This is very important for Bergson. It's two things that are both derived from the same source, colliding with each other. Two spiritual things colliding with each other, matter and mind. Just that produces the now. For him to say that for Bergson you were a knife inserted into a particular point in time, that's completely contrary to Bergson. That's actually taking the side of Einstein, where the idea is that time is not simply represented by space. Time is actually what clocks measure, which it's clearly not, because clocks don't measure time. Clocks use measure as an analog. Clocks use space as an analog for time.
Any given time. There's a 1 second moment of decision. And this moment of decision...
No, there isn't. It's not 1 second. It's indivisible. Movement is simple for Bergson. You should read Bergson, Rudyard. Rudyard, if you watch this, buddy old pal, you actually read Bergson? You actually read Time and Free Will? Oh my God. That'd be so cool. I would actually like your content. I wouldn't just laugh at it. I would like it. Even if you did it badly, I would like it. Rudyard, Time and Free Will. Looking at you. Do it. Do it. For the content, Rudyard.
Decision is as long or as short as you can be. You can speed up or slow down your concept of time.
No, you can't. Your concept of time is not temporal, it's a concept.
Because remember, when you were a kid, there were certain moments when you felt really, really bored.
Oh my God. He's so close. He's got somebody talking to him who's read Bergson. He's got somebody... There is somebody really, really smart that Rudyard talks to. And he's probably the only one. Oh my God. Does Kurt Doolittle read Bergson, really? Hang on. That'd be crazy. There's no way. Nothing that Kurt Doolittle talks about would make that possible. That's impossible. I can't find anything.
And so a class took an hour and a half, but
Maybe Bergson was right. He discovered the truth through ayahuasca.
but when you were playing, it was half the time. It's because your perception of time moves at a certain speed.
No.
And so when you're not rushing
No.
things,
Relative to what, Rudyard? Moves at a certain speed relative to what? What else in your perception is it moving relative to? That doesn't make any sense.
you relate to time in a way in which you don't feel stressed because you have spent your quiet period self-reflecting and figuring out how to interact with your environment.
Oh my god.
So you need to spend time alone thinking about
You need to spend time.
how you interface with your environment, and then don't force things, because when you force things, you end up in bad mojo territory.
Ah, yes. Bergson. Bergson's Time and Bad Mojo. Famous book.
You're not in your destiny, you're operating further down. And your society is so obsessed with time, and it's so obsessed with catching up, that you're killing yourself, because nothing you do is ever enough. So, you are enough now, but you could also be way, way cooler, and you should be. This is
You're enough now, but you should be cooler.
the attitude you should have for life. And though you've got the life charge, and that's generated by doing fun stuff, and masculinity is the force that powers evolution. And then the
Evolution precedes masculinity, Rudyard. Sexual reproduction is an evolved trait. Rudyard. There weren't little penises floating around at a molecular level. That's not how life came. That's not how evolution started. Evolution is stored in the balls. No, evolution apparently is the balls.
masculine takes the feminine, and they mix together, and they improve together.
Okay, so did things not evolve before sexual reproduction evolved?
Where
How do you know, President Sunday? Were you there? Yes! Yes, I was. I am a president. I was there.
greatest empires. Rome had incredible military formations. They had incredibly high social cohesion. Mongols, they had the best cavalry. They had an incredibly high cohesion. You're going to keep seeing this pattern. They had very high cohesion, and
What does cohesion have to do with evolution being masculine?
they were ruthless,
Women can cohere.
and they were really good at mobile warfare and cooperating through that. British, incredibly high social cohesion.
Oh.
They had a very well-balanced social structure, and they had an advanced legal code that gave people incredible incentives to cooperate. So
Legal codes don't give people incentives to cooperate. That's not how that works.
what patterns do you see with the greatest empires in history? And this applies to biology, it applies
They're all very gay.
to everything. They really worked on themselves, and they really looked inside to take responsibility for their situation,
Phrasing.
and they're all religious, because you first have to accept, I am powerless against the world. I could die tomorrow. You have to accept you could die tomorrow.
I can't. I'm invincible.
And whether or not you live or die is God's choice. It's not yours. Once you accept that, you can have fun because you stop taking yourself so seriously. And the biggest issue of your era of history is that you take yourself far, far too seriously. It's killing you, and it's a real shame because we like you so much. Aww.
What just happened?
Bro, I've been listening to this incredible Japanese...
What just happened?
like you so much. Aww.
Is this supposed to be another section?
Bro, I've been listening to this incredible Japanese samurai metal band from Finland called Whispered. Their music goes so hard, and it's fitting my vibe
Samurai metal band.
right now. I can't believe that there's like a Finnish samurai metal. There's metal's a weird place. You have Scottish pirate metal.
Scottish pirate metal.
So if you watch this video,
Scottish pirate metal from Finland.
you should be aware of a concept called the Great Chain of Being. I've mentioned it a few times but didn't really explain it. The Great Chain of Being is something I took from mystic and medieval and early modern philosophy.
Well, that doesn't narrow it down.
Basically, human life is a tree, and the tree
Human life is a tree.
contains all consciousness. And the
And the tree contains all consciousness.
Norse said that there were 9 worlds.
And the Norse said that there were 9 worlds, and we care for some reason.
And like Asgard and Vanaheim and those different
Asberg and Vanaheim.
places. And it's funny, when I was a kid,
Moth, thanks to the $5. LOL, Mongols are some of the worst cohesion in history. They were all hostages, defected constantly. And when the Khan dies, the whole empire implodes. Shh.
this is why my life is way too weird. I told the teacher the Norse were right, that this is the real map of the world, because I was a fucking edgy teenage child. Yeah, I would say that the Norse were right about having the Tree of Life. But what the fuck? I said that when I was a kid. And
Now you're an adult. And you're still saying it.
I also believe dragons were real as a kid. I don't think that's actually true, because dragons, they exist in...
Really, you're talking to Odin, but you draw the line at dragons? I think you haven't read enough about Norse mythology, my dude.
every major society,
You got giant snakes to deal with.
but no archaeological evidence whatsoever they existed. I'm here to keep it real with you guys. So, Great Chain of Being, basically human consciousness exists as a tree.
Human consciousness exists as a tree.
From higher forms to lower forms. So this
Okay, what conditions the position of higher forms vis-a-vis lower forms, or is that just how they are?
This is the spirit world. Our material world is what you see outside. The two are blurred in weird ways. There's multiple dimensions. You don't need to understand that now. In thousands of years, you may have to adapt your mental model, because the way mental models work is that you have a certain theory of the world, and then there's a back door, which is the concept you use to integrate information doesn't
What does he even talk about anymore? Not Bergson, I'll tell you that.
fit in your worldview. Every ideology's got to have a back door. Christianity, it's God. Then you have, for leftism, it's progress, so progress can change your worldview. For your worldview, it was history. And so Rudyard went through your back door.
Oh, okay. We got our call in. One moment. Editor, cut this part out. I'll be right back. All right, let's do this. Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Yes, Sunday. This is quite serious, of course. You've called me a paedophile 3 times, and then you said, actually, Ethan, instead, I think you are a ephebophile. So
What
what's
are
your
you in
definition?
your own words? First of all, introduce yourself for the chat, would you?
Well, I'm Ethan Stabley. I mean, I have a YouTube channel with that name. That's about all there is to it.
That'll do. All right, what's your grievance?
Yeah, well, I've already sort of introduced myself. Yes, I am somebody Sunday has called a paedophile 3 times. And now he backtracked that and now said I've got this different kind of mental condition that makes me a threat to children.
What's the
But
mental
where is the
mental
basis
what is the
for it?
mental condition that you have?
Well, I don't have any. And in
Okay.
fact, a
Well,
few moments ago,
what do you have
a
that's
few
been
hours
misconstrued
ago,
in your judgment?
you explained to me you've called me a paedophile. You would know,
Yeah,
wouldn't
yeah,
you?
so
If
I'm
you
going to
if
assume
you
I'm wrong. What have I misinterpreted as pedophilia in your judgment? What attraction do you have that is of such a remarkable nature that it would be given a label by a humble YouTuber like myself?
that I have admitted to any attraction to like pubescence. That is it.
Talking by pubescence, we talking 9, we talking 12, we talking 14, we talking 16. Where's the lower threshold?
It was 14, and that is
All
just
right.
evident.
And what would be the
Do you feel the
what would be the
expert?
correct term? What would be the correct term to describe that in your judgment?
Not the words you've used.
Okay, well, what word would you use?
Categorically not. No. But you've already made the error, Sunday. You've already incorrectly used the words, which are very severe in their accusation. That is
Okay,
just
what
it, isn't
word
it?
would you
What
prefer I
are you doing? You're just
use?
distracting from this point.
I'll defer to you. What word would you prefer I use?
Now we know what words
What
anyone
word? Well,
would prefer,
tell it to me.
and
So why don't you say it?
and there is no there. It's just
There's no word for it? I'm pretty
the
sure we
words.
have words for all of these ranges. Which one do you prefer?
Okay, well, what are these then? Because they're not what you've claimed.
There's
You
hebophile, which is
absolutely-
prepubescent.
No,
There's
you're wrong.
ephebophile, which is
Define
postpubescent, which
these
is
words.
hebophile.
No.
Sorry, pedophile, which is like toddlers to young child. Hebophile, which is like 9 to 12ish, roughly. Ephebophile, which is roughly from like 14 to 17, and then not those things.
No, it's 14 to 19,
Is it?
actually.
Is it
which
14
makes
to
it
19?
true-
So just to be clear, you're saying you're an ephebophile, not a pedophile.
Well, no, I'm not.
But you said you
But
could be.
you
You
don't
said you were
understand the
attracted to
definition, do
14.
you?
Did you not just say you were attracted to
Sunday.
14-year-olds?
Sunday, you're lying through your teeth right now because I've shown you what the definition.
What am I
of it
lying
is.
about? What am I lying about?
That you think you understand the definition of these words. You
I'm
don't.
assuming I don't understand the
You-
definitions of these words. I'm asking you
use
to
them
explain them
then.
to me.
No. Now you. No.
Well, what
don't use
term would you
them.
use to describe yourself
Don't
then?
ever use them.
I'm just asking you a
Don't
simple
ever
question.
steer
What term would you
somebody with
use?
these words.
What term would you use to
No,
describe
what-
them then? What term would you use? Floor is yours. What term do you prefer? What's your gender? What's your preferred pronouns?
There is a psychologist called Ray Blanchard, and he's pretty clear about it. That
Okay, what's he
what I'm
clear about? Can
describing
you
is
be clear about it, please? If he's clear about it, you should be able to just quote him. No, that'd save us some time.
Yes, I have quoted him, and you completely ignored me. Let me just bloody hell.
Well, we're live
record
now,
it.
so you can humiliate me in front of my audience. I'll never come back from this. Okay.
Yes, just let me. Here we go. Here's the
Okay.
quote. Here is the
Okay.
quote from this this professional who knows infinitely more than
I'm
you on this
listening.
subject.
It is the voice of God
Okay,
to my
here we
ears.
go.
I'm listening. Okay.
Well, it might as well be, because this is a person who
It might as well be. Amen. Hallelujah.
Listen,
Please.
no, seriously, this person
I'm being very serious.
completely outranks you.
He does.
Yeah,
Absolutely, he does. Yes. Please.
yeah, so, well, are you serious when you say that?
I'm does the Pope
can't
hide bunny
answer
ears
that.
under his
You
giant
can't
hat?
answer.
Yes, of course I'm
You
serious.
can't answer that question. You can't answer that. Okay, so
Which
you really
question
are
can I
serious.
answer? What question can I answer? What?
Okay, Blanche, you couldn't answer this question. I said, does this person likely completely outrank you?
Oh no, he
And you couldn't really give us-
he definitely completely outranks me. 100%.
Okay, this person called Ray Blanchard. I mean,
Okay.
maybe he's a quack. I mean,
Okay.
not all experts are right, are they? But here we go.
Are you reading chat? I'm not responding to you. Are you construing what chat's saying as what I'm saying? I'm telling you I'm deferring to the experts. Why don't you tell me?
No, I'm not reading chat. I'm about to read a quote from my notepad.
Okay, well please.
Blanche.
I'm waiting with bated breath.
Okay.
Okay.
This expert who totally outranks
Totally.
Sunday on this subject
Yes.
said this. Blanchard argued that critics of his proposal were performing a rhetorical sleight of hand that conflated sexual attraction with sexual preference, arguing that while normal men may show some degree of attraction to pubescents, they overwhelmingly prefer physically mature adults. Why would he produce a sentence like that? It seems to suggest he thinks it's completely normal and unremarkable that some men experience.
Okay, so
what I
just to be
described.
clear, just to be clear, for my edification, okay? You're not an ephebophile or a pedophile. You have a normal attraction to 14-year-olds.
But this is what the expert.
Yeah, I'm
who
just
completely outranks
asking
you
for
on said.
clarification. In line with what Blanchard said, you have a completely normal attraction to 14-year-old girls. Yes.
Well, I've got to specify it's not the word attraction is can be misleading.
What word would you prefer?
Well, again, you what you're probably doing
I'm
is
just
actually what
deferring to you. What
quote.
word would you prefer? I'm granting that it's misleading. What word would you
Okay,
prefer?
as long as you're not conflating mere presence of any attraction to a preference or to a strong attraction,
Yeah.
then yes, I experience something that is I experience that which is normal.
You experience a normal attraction to 14-year-old girls.
Yes, as long as that's not being conflated with a preference or a strong attraction. It's just the mere presence of any at some times. And
Okay.
this professional who
No.
completely
Okay, no.
outranks
I understand. I understand
clearly
completely.
doesn't think-
No, listen to
clearly
me.
thinks
Yeah.
this is
No.
defensible too.
Yeah.
He
No.
clearly
I
thinks
totally
it's defensible,
defensible.
and that you're the
Listen,
one
Ethan.
being weird.
Ethan, totally defensible. Okay, so what you're saying, just so we're clear, so if I understand you completely correctly, right? What you're saying is that you're a pedophile.
No, because this professional completely disagrees with you.
Gotcha.
This professional completely disagrees with you.
Anything else?
Your definitions aren't accurate either, Sunday. You're a liar. Define the word you just used against me. Define it.
Okay, well,
And
when
what
I
we're gonna
use the
find
word
is your definition is
when I
wrong.
use the word pedophile, I mean a man who is sexually attracted to children.
No, but that's just not actually because a 16-year-old
Is that not a 16-year-old is a child? Yes.
So you would call them a paedophile
Yeah.
if they experienced any mere attraction to a 16-year-old. You would call them a paedophile.
If they experience it to such a degree that they felt the need to go on live in front of hundreds of people and defend it, then probably yeah.
Defend? What does that know? So now you're doing the thing where if I defend the truth of words and the reality of psychology, you accuse me of, well, he must be a paedophile.
I'm not accusing you. I'm not accusing you of
True.
anything. I was just asking for clarification.
Sunday, when you call people paedophiles for merely experiencing any attraction to a 16-year-old in any circumstance, you are a detriment to serious discussion of child
What about?
sexual
But what
abuse.
about?
You are a disgrace.
But what
When you
about?
do- Sunday,
But
if
what
you
about a
said this
14-year-old? What
sentence-
about a 14-year-old, Ethan? You said 14. I didn't say 14. I gave you carte blanche.
Now you're moving.
Pick the lower threshold, and you said 14. And I commend you for your honesty, but you said 14. And there's a little bit of a difference there, isn't it? And it's an interesting difference because it's a difference that's very hard to articulate. It's a difference that's very hard to it's a difference that's very hard to articulate without sounding like a pedophile.
No, I don't find it very hard to articulate at all.
Then by all means, I'm listening.
No, I find it hard to win an argument.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Whereas appealing to the idiocy of an audience. I find that hard. Sunday, you are relying on a mass hysteria on this subject, which is completely documented. There is a mass hysteria on this subject that is completely documented. You are relying on that mass hysteria to smear people as terrible threats to children's safety.
I wasn't talking about you at all. You've decided to make yourself a spectacle of your own volition, sir.
No, I have not. I once said this, and everyone has smeared me about it afterwards.
Who's everyone? Who's everyone?
Like,
who's everyone? Ethan, in all seriousness, let's calm down for a second. Let's talk seriously for a moment. Ethan, just shut up for a second. The number of people who know your name is less than I have fingers on both hands if you chop two of them off. Okay?
No, but if they did know my name, you would see the exact same mass hysteria.
Yes, and so I advise you very strongly.
Yes, you're part of it.
I advise you very strongly, Ethan.
Sunday,
Ethan, darling, listen to me. Listen to me. I'm saying this because I love you. Ethan, I'm saying this because I love you, okay? Listen to me. 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 Shh. Breathe. Breathe. Okay. Continue seeing your therapist. Be very earnest with them like you've been earnest with me. Stop talking about this on the internet. You will be happier and safer.
Sunday, I've already seen a therapist and they agree with me, not you.
Good. Then you have a safe harbor.
No, do you know? No, Sunday, my therapist spoke about you.
Oh, did he? Your therapist watches my show? That's cool.
No, in fact, he's certainly not optimistic about watching it. You know,
oh dear,
not motivated to, because what I told him, he said, this guy sounds like a horrible smearer who doesn't understand the definitions he's using, doesn't understand psychology, is in contradiction to medical professionals on the subject they are experts on. That is what my therapist said, and I am not going to therapy for this subject. I brought it up because I was being smeared by disgusting people like you, and everybody I've spoken to about this in real life has agreed with me about the things I'm talking about, and accused. You think I'm lying?
No, I think no. I think you're telling the truth exactly.
You think I'm surrounded by creeps? You think I'm surrounded by?
No.
So it looks like you're completely out of fucking touch. You think people who are merely attracted at all to 16-year-olds are pedophiles, which is an absurd opinion.
14-year-olds. 14-year-olds.
No,
you said 14. You said 14. I didn't say 16.
Yes.
You said 14. You said 14.
No, we'll just go,
I didn't even give you enough. I gave you a range that went well below 14 and well above 14. You picked 14.
The last time we spoke about this Sunday, I was completely honest about all of this, but I'm just hesitant to do the same honesty because I just think you're going to kick me.
Well, if you're going to be dishonest, then what's the point of the conversation?
I'm not really being. I don't think it's fair to say I'm being dishonest just because I.
Okay, so you said 14. You said 14. You were being honest when you said 14. Yes.
Yes.
Okay, shut up for a sec. Shut up for a second and listen to me, okay? Because I'm telling you something for your own... shut up for a second. I'm telling you something for your own benefit. Nobody cares. Ethan, nobody cares. Nobody cares. It doesn't matter why nobody cares. It's simply the fact... It is simply the fact... It is simply the fact... It is simply the fact... Rudyard, Jesus. Ethan. Okay, yes. I'm granting everything you're saying. But it doesn't matter. Nobody cares. This is all that matters. when you go out and say,
No, stop calling me.
when you go out and say, listen to me, okay, listen, you like the sound of your own voice? That's not good for you. The sound of your own voice sounds good to you, it is not good for you. Listen to me. Okay, Ethan, we've heard this. Ethan, yes, we know, I smear people as pedophiles, we've heard this already. Ethan, when you go online and you say, I'm attracted to 14-year-olds, but technically, ipso facto, vis-a-vis, ergo concordantly, it's not my primary attraction, therefore I'm not a pedophile. What you are telling people is that you are a pedophile. Stop doing it.
No, that is relying on mass hysteria. You are relying on mass hysteria to justify smears against my character. Because
all right. Anything else?
Yes, you're a disgusting, filthy smearer. And if I saw you in real life, you'd have a reaction that you've provoked. And you would suffer from it, perhaps, wouldn't you? Because you smeared me, you slandered me.
Is that a threat?
It's a threat of journalism.
It's a threat of journalism. You're going to have a journalistic reaction to me, are you? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, I would film you out in the real world as a disgusting smearer who's trying to present himself.
Oh, don't do that. I don't have my beach body yet. Besides, I'm much too old for you, apparently.
Yes, all your definitions have been wrong, and all the experts disagree with you, but somehow you're not relying on mass hysteria to justify calling me a paedophile. Because you haven't addressed any of the points I've made.
I don't think I've justified it at all. I think what I've told you is what the social response is going to be, and that you're being very stupid.
Yes, so wait, so your argument is actually relying on mass hysteria to justify.
No, my argument is this. My argument. Can I speak, please? Can I finish the sentence? If you don't mind.
Using words incorrectly.
Can I use words correctly? I'm gonna say something. May I? Pretty please.
You're proving my point that you're relying on mass hysteria because you're.
I just want to say it. Can I say a thing, kindly?
Explain to me how Ray Blanchard agrees with me, this person who...
Because he outranks me and he clearly knows more than I do, but I really wanted to say just one thing. Can I say a thing without interruption, Ethan? Ethan, can I say a thing without interruption? Please? Kindly?
No, only because
I can't say a thing without interruption? Only because what? Sorry?
Only because you're probably going to kick me, so...
Probably, because it does get a little bit tedious at a certain point. But... Look, buddy, nobody knows who you are, and this is good, because you still have full control over your reputation and over how people perceive you. Get off the internet, keep going to therapy, focus on making your life better, stop trying to win at the internet. I'm telling you right now, listen, Ethan, I'm telling you as a kindness. I'm telling you as a kindness.
You disgusting smear. Stop.
You're not a pedophile. You're just normally attracted to 14-year-olds.
Okay, so you're a liar then.
Let me rephrase that. You're attracted to 14-year-olds in a normal way.
Oh, so what you're pretending to sincerely say that?
I'm sincerely saying that. I'm sincerely asking you. Actually, that's a question. That was in the form of a question.
No, Sunday, how is it possible that there's a medical expert that completely contradicts your opinion?
I have deferred to them without argument. I don't have to, by the way, but I've deferred to them without argument. I can't. How do I disagree with someone I've deferred to? I've agreed with you.
But that can't be sincere. Because now you're admitting that you have slanderously called me a paedophile in contradiction to medical.
No. What I'm trying to explain to you, I'm failing, and I'm sorry.
What you're trying to explain is that you feel justified.
I'm sorry. Did you know what I was going to say? Did you know what I was going to say Did you know what I was going to say before then?
You have to
finish my sentence, please. No. Go ahead, please. Finish my sentence for me.
Your sentence is this. This is how people are going to react, no matter what. That means that means I'm allowed to call you a paedophile at complete contradiction to medical experts' opinions.
Nope.
That is your argument,
nope.
Sunday.
Nope.
Well, we know it's your argument because that's what you have literally done.
Nope. I'm not telling you that I'm calling you a pedophile in contradiction to medical experts. Okay. Listen to me. No, listen to me. Listen to me. And listen to me. Stop talk. You're making noise. There's no conversation. There's no conversation if you're filling all the space with noise. There's no conversation if you're filling all the space with noise. If you talk to me normally, I'm very nice. If you talk to me like this, I'm not so nice.
No. You
Yes,
have
yes.
called me a paedophile and
Right.
contradicted
Okay.
medical
Don't worry.
experts'
There's a lot of that
opinion.
going around. Okay. I've dealt with it before. It's fine.
Times.
So here's the deal. Here's the deal. Okay. I'm not calling you a pedophile in contradiction to medical experts.
You have, but you have.
But I'm not.
Categorically.
No. I'm not calling you a pedophile.
Dishonest, aren't you?
I'm not calling you. I am
you?
presently. Listen,
you?
listen, Ethan. Listen to me.
Who cares about presently?
Listen
if
to
you've
me.
been a disgusting smearer in the past.
Ethan, yes, I'm a disgusting smearer, but Ethan, listen to me. I'm not calling you. I'm not calling Ethan.
You're avoiding the question,
Ethan,
aren't you?
what? You didn't ask a question.
Yes or no?
Have I called you a pedophile?
Have you done this in the past? Yes or no?
I can't remember. Probably, if I'm honest.
Yes, so that would have been.
I don't think about you all that much, Ethan. Ethan, I'm gonna be real with you. I haven't thought about you that much. I don't remember.
No, this is irrelevant, but you have.
But you ask, so it's totally not irrelevant to you. It's clearly very important to you. You sound like it's very important to you.
So your defense is that you have
right now in this conversation right now, which is fresh to me because I don't think about you. I don't remember a previous conversation. In this conversation right now, I want to be very clear. I'm not calling you a pedophile.
You have though.
I'm not calling you. Yes, let's run with that. Hey, Ethan, let's run with that. Let's run with that. No, I'm agreeing with you. Let's run with Ethan. Let's run with you.
You're not agreeing with me. You're lying, aren't you? And you're trying to paint me as insane and angry. But in the past, you have.
There's nowhere to go here, is there? Just no matter what I say, you're gonna. I can affirm or I can deny, but you're gonna say I'm lying either way. So we got a bit of a problem, don't we? I can't answer you.
You just said you actually did give an answer, but you said you forgot that you have.
I did. Ethan, I'm deferring to your to your superior. Ethan, for the love of God, shut the fuck up for 5 seconds. I'm deferring to your superior memory and agreeing with you without any without any recollection of my own that yes, I called you a pedophile. Let's run with that. Okay? I don't remember.
What you're doing, there's proof. There's like.
I believe you 100%. Look, I believe you. I believe you, Ethan, 100%.
Okay.
I called you a pedophile.
So
did I call you a? Did I call you? Did I?
This is a very important next question, and it's clear.
You need to let conversations breathe, because what's happening is this. I can't speak. Eventually I get bored, and all people remember is I'm cogent, I said things, and you I like 14-year-olds. Not how you want to end this. I'm trying to do you a favor here.
All relying on mass
Ethan, Ethan, listen to me. You think Ethan, baby, listen to me. You think you're smart. I'm telling you this is a kindness. You are really not, Ethan. You're really not. You know not what you do. Slow down.
No, you think it's a complete coincidence that there is a well-documented mass hysteria around this subject, and you're just coincidentally calling people pedophiles on the subject, Sunday. You think that's just a coincidence? That is absurd. Sunday, you have called me a pedophile in the past, which you were.
I want to see how long he goes if I don't talk. How long does he just talk by himself?
Okay, well, here we go. Sunday, if you have called me a pedophile in the past, will that have been in contradiction to medical experts' opinions on the subject? Yes or no?
I haven't spoken to medical experts, so I'll assume that you have, and they've contradicted me, so yes.
No, you can just look it up. No, Sunday, are you familiar with the DSM-5?
Nope.
You familiar with that?
Nope. I'm a humble political scientist, and according to some people, not even that, so nope.
So don't be going around smearing people when you don't know the actual accuracy of the terminology you are using.
Okay.
That is just case closed, isn't it?
Okay, so what you're saying. So listen to me. No. I understand. Ethan. I get you. So what you're saying.
No, you don't. You're
listen,
a liar.
Ethan. I'm not Ethan. Please. I'm trying so hard. I'm trying so hard to respond to you, Ethan.
You're a disgusting fucking liar, Sunday. Don't ever call me a pedophile again. You can't use those words ever
Okay,
again,
listen,
like
Ethan, I won't. I promise I won't, okay? But listen to me. So what you're saying is that you're attracted to 14-year-olds in a normal way. Right? Oh, did he hang up? He hung up. Okay. Well, word to the wise, dear children. If you ever want people on the internet to not call you a pedophile, do the opposite of whatever that was. Back to Rudyard.
Or because history was an actual empirical connection to the outside world that couldn't be falsified. It was one of the very few fields that weren't falsified. So Rudyard went down history, pulled the back door, and then called your bluff. So, Great Chain of Being, higher forms are heaven, lower forms are hell, and
we're clearly in one.
The way that operates is that if you have faith, you move up the Great Chain of Being. This is ideal. This is...
Zach Ball, thanks to $20 theory. I'm not sure what that was. Would have some money, I guess. Also, is there a reason you don't use an on-screen chat? Yes, because I don't have the technical proficiency to figure out how to set that up. Also, get this. This is really cool. First, I'll add this to theory, but this is also really cool, okay? If I don't have an on-screen chat, then I can respond to chatters that I make up in my head in order to say stuff that I want to without being prompted. You'd never know.
Material. You need both. This is why the tree unifies them. Yahweh is the Lord of up here. Satan is the Lord of down here. There is innate polarity to the universe, so for everything it's an opposite thing. And thus, this is why these two are at war. But the spirit world's multidimensional in that there's multiple, there's infinite dimensions, bro. Just so many different things going on. You wouldn't believe it. And whenever you think you hit it, there's something else. Because God wants to keep you entertained.
Oh, that's nice. God wants to keep us entertained.
Where?
That's why he created the Nintendo 64.
The universe is powered by boredom.
The universe is powered by boredom. It's like the opposite of Homo ludens. It's Homo boredens.
If you want to understand the universe, think of women. A woman's psychology.
If you want to understand the universe, think of women.
Is the same thing as how Mother Nature operates. She is motivated by boredom and likes drama.
Mother Nature is very bored and likes drama.
Because it's at least interesting. As a man, you have had too many threats of dying.
Men hate drama.
So you have moved past this, but we've saddled you two together. You two make it work. You seem to like each other enough.
See, Mother Nature just likes watching crime shows. But the masculine energy that powers evolution likes documentaries.
So up, God, down, devil.
Up, God, down, devil.
You use faith to move up the Great Chain of Being. So faith is
it's a great thermometer of being, really.
Lubricant through which God communicates through you, and you can build faith over time to different spiritual forces. This is how religion works. And so you pull on their energetic Warren. It's hilarious I use the word Warren. I got it from a fantasy novel I read as a teenager, but it's a perfect descriptor of how this works for me. So then reason or thought is how you move down. So you get material things with reason, and then you develop ideas and move closer to God with faith. You need both, and the West did an incredibly smart thing by basically pairing reason and faith. And this exists inside a mental Western framework. There's other frameworks. We'll get to them. Rudyard needs to read more.
He got his metaphysics from the Malazan Chronicles. Is that what they're called? The Malazan Chronicles? Malazan Book of the Fallen. Yeah.
Rudyard is a work in progress. He's 23. Accept it. He'll get better. Some stuff he says now is wrong.
In this debate, Sunday admitted he called me a pedophile numerous times in complete ignorance of experts' contradictions to his claims. His response is, nobody cares, you were a disgrace, Sunday. We're hitting 3.5 hours. I'm actually going to restart this section. We're going to do this next stream because we have a long way to go and I'm really tired and I want to go have dinner. Ethan, you could have stayed. You could have just talked. I'm actually very nice to talk to when you just talk. You made a lot of noise because you're scared of talking, because you're feeling insecure. I understand. I have been there. I felt that. I felt that feeling. But that is not the way. That is not the way. All right, I'm going to send you to Queeman. Y'all have a good night. We're going to finish Rudyard once and for all tomorrow, okay? Tomorrow's the end. Tomorrow is when we finish. We finish it. Is it going to be tomorrow? No, I'm taking tomorrow off. It's going to be Friday. Friday, we're going to finish Rudyard once and for all. And that'll be the end. That will be the end. Good night, everyone. Behave. Cheerio. Bye-bye.